OCO, Tohija Nagada. Hello, how's everybody doing? Got Luiste, Kanogiste, Noah. I want to be playing some flute music for you. Hello. Luiste?
We're webcasting for all our friends who couldn't be here, and we just need to move you a little more that way for the camera.
Oh, wow. Media promotion. All right. Let me dress up a little bit here, folks. I'm going to play a song for you once again. That's my newest composition on the American Indian flute. It's the American chestnut flute. I've had this for 21 years. Composed most of my music with it on my 2 CDs. I have a Warrior Flute CD that is my most promoted CD, utilized by the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, the United Katua Band of the Cherokee Indians, and on the great island of the Eastern Band of the Qualla Boundary. You can go on the park, push a button, and hear the story of our great legacy there in the southern Appalachians of the Great Smoky Mountains. So this Warrior Flute CD has become part of Cherokee culture. And since I've produced it, composed the music, and put it out there, and took it around the whole country promoting it, it's taken care of me as I've worked to keep it moving, keep it out there. And today, you know, it still continues to promote the accuracy of Native American history as well as Cherokee history. And this first song off that Warrior Flute is a song I'm going to play for you now. What up? What up? Now, since we are here at the 2014 10-year anniversary of the National Museum of the American Indian, that song I played for you earlier, I composed that about 2 years ago. And I've been playing it all over Indian country, traveling around representing the Cherokee Nation from North Carolina, Northern Georgia, Oklahoma, the United Catuga Band, Eastern Band, with our principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, Bill John Baker, visiting our Cherokee citizens that have migrated all over the country since the Great Depression in the 1930s. The Dust Bowl, we have 100,000 Cherokees that are scattered all over the United States and a few abroad. So it's been my deepest honor to travel meeting Cherokees for the last 25 years of my young adult life, promoting the beautiful world of the American Indian and the Cherokee legacy of the heritage. And to be here at the Cherokee Days at the National Museum in our nation's capital is truly a great honor to represent our heritage of the Cherokee Nation. And that song I played for you earlier, I'm going to play it for you again, because I started with a unique tune. I added to it, added a little bit more to it, and self-taught myself how to make music. And sometimes I'm performing for great leaders of our nation and the American nation, and they'll ask me to play nothing but flute music. So I'll go play for an hour and 45 minutes, or 45 minutes nonstop. And I'm really I've been in a world of playing flute music for many years on a tour of powwows and festivals. I'm really grateful that I can do that. But I don't want to play that long for you today here at the National Museum, but I want to play that song for you once more again. So you'll see the tune that I created several years ago, how I refined it. And one of these days, hopefully I'll put it down on a recording, which you can already hear it on YouTube, on one of my documentaries. If you go to just Tommy Wildcat, you can listen to this song once again at one of our Cherokee community meetings there in Cherokee Nation, northeastern Oklahoma. What up, what up? What ski. What is thank you in Cherokee. You might hear me say what. I usually say that to everybody. That's just Tommy Wildcat's saying of thank you, thank you. Sometimes I might say it 3 times, what. And but that's my own personal version. You know, it just kind of enhances the language so that many people can see the interests of it. You know, to help to promote it. I've always enjoyed promoting the beauty of the American Indian, made crafts, made Rivercane flutes, blowguns, traditional art of the Cherokee people and southeastern Indian tribes that lived around the cane breaks. And our people had villages, towns. We utilized it for many things, made the most beautiful baskets out of Rivercane that many of the 13 colonies of the aristocrats of the 13 colonies were always envied of the Cherokee ladies in their baskets. And we made blowguns, flutes, gigs, arrows, and many things out of the Rivercane. So I still make Rivercane flutes to this day, and blowguns, and other people that are interested in the Rivercane. You know, we sort of have the same interests, so we're friends with each other in our tribe, and we talk about it. And sometimes we just one morning get up and go right to the cane fields. And the other day I went and found one that was at least $50 in size and diameter, which is really unique to find real good cane like that. So that is one of the things about keeping connected with the traditions and the culture, from the language, our musical songs. As you see our Cherokees from North Carolina out there dancing some of our social songs. We all have the same history. The United Katua Band of Cherokee Indians, the Cherokee Nation, and the Eastern Band of the Cherokee Indians in the Carolinas. We all share that same common historical legacy of the great Cherokee Nation, and our languages that are surviving today, the 2 dialects that continue to be perpetuated among our people. It helps out whenever you can be surrounded around the entity of the living culture. And that's one of the things I'm really honored to acknowledge my father and my grandfather and my mother and my parents. They raised me in the old customs of the Cherokee heritage legacy, originally enrollees on the Dawes Roll, my grandfather, which is before statehood in 1907, Indian Territory, and then Oklahoma. So that legacy of history is one of the things that many of our Cherokees in Oklahoma share amongst each other, as many of our grandfathers and grandmothers were original enrollees when the state of Oklahoma didn't exist. It was the Indian Territory, and the Cherokee Nation Indian Territory. So connecting most of our traditions and culture is all blending a lot of the elements that today we continue to perpetuate the struggle of keeping our heritage alive within our people for 1-2 more generations. And it's great to be a part of that. It's my honor that I play this next song for everybody. It's one of the songs that I created while I was walking around in the cane patches by myself. I used to be scared to go out there by myself, but now I just walk on out there and hang out. Got to watch out for them snakes, though. Vadå? Ski. Vadå, ski? Vadå and the God and Yahweh and all here. Hello, thanks everybody for being here. My Miss Cherokee representatives of the Cherokee Nation, friend, my colleagues up there, Raven Bruner and Julie Thornton. And then we have Junior Miss Cherokee, my co-performer this weekend at the holiday, here at the Cherokee Days at the National Museum, Lanice Belcher. And, she's 16 years old. And I take back 16 years of my life when she was first born. And I believe I was really excited at that 16 years ago to think about, I had made my first Rivercane flute cassette, not 8 tracks, cassettes. And I was thinking, I wonder what people do. And one of my really good friends who has passed away recently, Robert J. Jackson Conley, and he wrote 80 novels of Cherokee history. And I would visit with him. He lived in Tahlequah, ended in Western Carolina University, and teaching over there. But he wrote 80 novels. Several books, Geronimo, that wasn't Cherokee, but Western novels. About 50 of them were Cherokee novels, and made a great contribution to people learning the history of the Cherokee people. And I had met him at the 1993 International Indian Council, and he had told his wife, he said, Evelyn, here's that young man that come out of the woods, and I was doing the dancing and talking about the Cherokee traditions at the International Indian Council. And that was 20 years ago. And then finally, I made this cassette to help support my cultural activities. And I was going outside the state once, twice a year, and doing mostly a lot of surrounding areas, and made this cassette with a Rivercane flute that I had made. And it's 30 minutes long. It's called A Warrior Spirit, honoring the clan kinship of the Cherokee ladies, the matrilineal societies of our people, passing down the traditional clan kinship through our ladies' line. The 7 societies, the bird, deer, wolf, blue, paint, long hair, and the wild potato families. These clans are passed down. The children take the clan name of their mothers. All of their mothers' clans are their brothers and sisters, and their fathers' clans are their uncles and aunts. And so I made this cassette honoring the clan mothers. And Robert had the same situation. Nobody was doing anything for the ladies, so he had made this book, War Woman. And I asked Robert if he would help me write the PowerPoints on the cassette jacket. And so I told him what I was wanting. He showed me how to write these cassettes. And since then, I took off with 6 other CDs that I did all of the writings on my own and putting them all together. And it was a job. I guess that's why I haven't come out with a new CD yet. And not only is it a lot of money, but it's a job putting all of that together and then putting it out there and putting all the music together so that you can make a cassette CD. But back then, I was wondering what I was doing because I had to self-teach myself a lot of different things. But I took this cassette, and I had a gig in Norman, Oklahoma. And I went there, and I made like $800, left there, drove all the way to California. Knew a few people there, but not too many, but a few people that were there had set me up with a few gigs. And I went to Sacramento, California, and San Francisco, San Diego. And I stayed out there, and since that time, I met some people at this gift shop in Old Town. They bought about $1,000 worth of stuff off me. That was a lot of money back then. Gas was like $1.27. When I come off the road, it was like $5. I thought, oh man, it's time for me to quit too. But anyway, I would drive all over the place, these little beat-up old trucks and vehicles, and drive up and down the interstates and cross that desert 20 times California and Washington. And sometimes I took my father with me, several times with him, my nephews, nieces, driving across the desert, finding a market for Tommy Wildcat and his cassette. But that One Warrior Spirit cassette, I sold probably at least 10,000 of them. And in order for me to keep going, until I came out with a new CD called Warrior Flutes, Flames of Fire, which was my most promoted CD. It could never be beat by other compositions that I've had made on CDs. And that's why I still keep that in stock. But the lady that was at the store in Cherokee, North Carolina, had bought 5 cassettes. And since that day, she has heard my music every day for the last 19 years. And she regrets that day she bought that CD, she said. And sold it at her store because the boss says, put Tommy Wildcat back in and play that CD. And he even says, you got Warrior Flute CD, you can't beat that one. It's got nothing but soothing flute music on it. And I'm always continuing to learn more different things. But whenever I made that cassette and took off touring and traveling, when I came out with that Warrior Flute CD in 1997, I started getting paid gigs everywhere. People would hire me for $700, $1,000. So every month would go by, I would continue on. This is my 5th department to play here. Well, it was grand opening 10 years ago, but the 5th time to be in the nation's capital at a department performing. And New Orleans Jazz Fest, which is the largest festival in North America, in the United States, I was there 5 years straight till Hurricane Katrina. But I was getting all these really good gigs that was tell me, you can do this another month, or your year's booked up. So, and then since then, in 16 years, I've toured to Europe 4 times, and Hawaii 17 times. And then just recently, I became a Cherokee National Treasure with the Cherokee Nation, which is a great honor. Thank you. What else? I take the Native American Music Award, but my father was a national treasure, and to follow in his footsteps, promoting the heritage of our people, that's what I love to do. Don Dago Ha'e means I'll see you again, singular. Do Dago Ha'e means I'll see everybody again. Hawa means okay. Nagada means everybody. And I don't have to use it when I use the plural of we'll see you again. Ha. Do Dago Ha'e Nagada. Watong.